Hello, hello. Happy Wellness Wednesday. I am so excited to have you here. I will be managing the group and any questions that you have, so please drop them in on my phone. So you see me looking up and down, but let's get to the good. Let's get to the good stuff. So welcome to Chantal Pritchard. And I am just so excited to have you here. I wanted to have a conversation about osteopath for quite a while, and yay. So let me tell you a little bit about Chantal, and then we'll hand the floor to her. So she is an osteopathic manual practitioner, doctor of osteopathy, and she has a BS honors in kinesiology. So the body is her thing. Right? Chantal grew up in Toronto, and ever since she was a child, she has always been fascinated with the intricate workings of the human body. Throughout her education, it became more evident to her that she needed to find a practice that resonated with her belief system of healing the body as a unit and holistically. This is what drew her to osteopathy. She has now been practicing osteopathic manual therapy for over 6 years. Welcome, Chantal.
Thank you, Sherry, and thank you for that introduction. Thank you for inviting me to talk with you today. I think it is absolutely fantastic that you have created Wellness Wednesdays as a way to share information to women who are entering and going through and midlife and beyond. So I am happy to share with you and all the lovely ladies watching about my practice as an osteopathic manual practitioner. So thank you. And as Sherry said, I grew up in Toronto, Ontario. I had been actually living in Central America for the last few years, and I have recently returned to Canada. And I am residing in the lovely town of Port Hope, Ontario. And I have set up my practice out of my home here. So
nice.
Yeah.
Don't you love that, eh? Working out of the home is just so beautiful.
Definitely.
So beautiful. So welcome, Jen. Jen is joining us. So welcome. And so tell us a little bit, Chantal, what is osteopathy? What is osteopathy? Yeah. I guess we would call that.
Mm-hmm. So osteopathy is a gentle, holistic manual therapy. So basically, as practitioners, we recognize that all body systems are interrelated. So we treat the body in its entirety, right? So not just maybe the site or area of complaint or discomfort. We look into alignment, balance, functioning of the entire body to see if other areas may be contributing to the discomfort. So we treat the body as a unit. And we also recognize that everybody is different. So this is where the holistic aspect of my practice comes into play. We treat everybody as how they are experiencing their bodies and their symptoms, right? Mm-hmm. Another thing is we acknowledge that the body has this innate and natural way of self-regulating and self-healing. And so, love the skin you're in. What a great statement, Sherry, like fabulous. And it's true. Our bodies are these amazing, strong, resilient, adaptable things, right? And we are just moving through life with all this change, and our bodies are constantly adjusting to it and what they are capable of. If we recognize this, that can be very empowering. So
absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about what would happen in an osteopathic treatment?
Yes, for sure. So An osteopathic treatment and what it means to rebalance would look something like this. So first we start with a conversation, right? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Are there areas where you are feeling discomfort or pain? You know, have you noticed anything change in your life? Any movement patterns? Any imbalances? Are you having any symptoms? And what are that you haven't had before, maybe new symptoms, and what are they? So we start with the conversation, and based on the conversation, you know, I move into more assessment. So we might do some special testing, moving you through different planes of motion, structural assessment, functional assessment, all done with hands and moving the body. And so after that, if I find areas of, we call it restriction or dysfunction, I basically move into the treatment aspect. And this is all about using my hands to move and guide the body with ease with gentle techniques. So these techniques can include fascial release. It can include soft tissue therapy, which is like massage or trigger point release, joint mobilization. So basically, we release the tissues around the joints, allowing them to move within the natural range of motion, and then trying to maybe increase the range of motion or balance the ligaments around those joints. We also do something called muscle energy techniques, which involve resistive forces. So you're using your muscles, contracting your muscles, and then we do a nice gentle stretch through to kind of balance things out. We also have craniosacral osteopathy, which involves the rhythm, the internal rhythm of our bodies and how fluids move around our central nervous system. So up through our spinal column and into our cranium. And if we have any restrictions along there, that can impact our nerves, our functioning, our moods. So we deal with that as well. And also visceral work. So that involves internal organs. So releasing the tissues around the internal organs to create optimal functioning. So basically, all of these techniques can contribute to creating balance in the person's body. So rebalancing, so to speak, for optimal functioning.
There's so many pieces here.
Yeah.
So many pieces.
That was a lot of information.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the talk of the joint manipulation, just healthy around the joints. And,
Yes.
I teach so much of that myself. And it's so important as we're aging, and sometimes these things don't show up till midlife and beyond.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that we say, it just is what it is. It's my aging body. It's part of it. I just have to accept it. My pain level's high every day, but whatever, right? That's just the way it's going to go. And what I'm hearing here is no, that does not have to be the case at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What osteopathy helps is creating body awareness in the individual. So understanding that we can rebalance, realign, we can reduce and minimize symptoms and pain. That is very important. That's a huge part of my practice.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Reducing pain. Yes.
Yeah. And so hopeful.
Yes.
Right? So hopeful, because again, we put up with a lot and we just think that it's just our aging bodies, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Correct.
So what does rebalancing, mean?
Yeah, so basically it means creating new muscle patterns. Like, for example, if we're holding ourselves, maybe we've been compensating in a certain way, or holding ourselves in a certain way where we have imbalances, and everybody does. So this applies to everyone. And the therapy basically helps to create new structural movement patterns. And by this, we naturally move better and freer, and it allows our bodies to adapt to changes better because we are balancing ourselves into normal patterns.
Okay, so let's say, for instance, we're walkers.
Yes.
Right? We love walking. We've been walking for years and years, and it is our stress release, everything. And now all of a sudden it's a lot more difficult. We're getting a lot more sore. It just is not, it's feeling like so much more work than it ever has. And so we come to you and we've got, as we look at rebalancing that, can that open up and help us come back into a regular walking practice?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we address the body in its entirety, we will look at your pattern when it comes to your hip alignment, your knees, your ankles, your feet. So how those patterns, areas that might need release. If I find a restriction in, your hip area, if we release it and drop your hip into balance, that gives you a better mobility as you're walking, right? So again, it's on an individual basis. It's really what the practitioner, or me as the practitioner, finds with the person I'm working with. So yes, absolutely, you can change. Our bodies are constantly changing. So you can change to have better movement patterns, free up any kind of restrictions, and allow movement to be freer as well.
Nice. Move with ease. Beautiful.
With ease, exactly.
As we look at osteopathy to ease the transition into and through midlife, okay, what does that look like? Okay, from like hormonal perspective.
Yeah, sure. So basically, I'm going to reiterate this one point again. So we are all beautiful and unique, and we experience our bodies and changes in our bodies differently. So, what may look like, what these symptoms may look like to someone else or feel like to someone else going through the same stage as you may be completely different for yourself. So that is where having a holistic practice such as osteopathy can be really beneficial during this stage in life. And to look more specifically into hormones, I actually would love to discuss two hormones that we definitely know whose levels change during this time, right? So the first one is estrogen, okay? As we all know, estrogen is a key hormone in the reproductive system. However, it also acts on many other body systems in the female body. So during perimenopause and menopause, we know that estrogen levels decrease, okay? So what does that mean? So one of the areas that estrogen acts on, is the hypothalamus in our brain. And what the hell hypothalamus does, it's a tongue twister.
It is for sure.
Is it regulates our temperature. So when we have decreased levels of estrogen, we often experience symptoms like hot flashes or night sweats. And that is because our hypothalamus isn't regulating the temperature as well. It's not being stimulated by the estrogen. Another area that estrogen acts on is it's natural anti-inflammatory for our body. So if we have decreased estrogen levels, we can experience things like joint inflammation, which can lead to stiffness and maybe a little bit less mobility in the joints. Estrogen also supports the system for bone density. So as we know, decreased estrogen can affect bone density as well. And the last thing I want to talk about with estrogen is that low estrogen contributes to mood swings or differences in how we feel emotionally. So you know, you might feel sad or irritable, or stressed out a little bit, have anxiety, as well as, you know, if you're having night sweats and you're not sleeping as well, that can also affect your mood, right?
Yeah.
So with this, how does osteopathy help? Okay, so, and how does it rebalance so that your body can adjust to these hormone changes? So basically, with craniosacral osteopath treatment mixed with structural techniques, we can create easier flow of the cerebral spinal fluid and blood flow into and around our central nervous system. So our central nervous system is all up the spine and into our cranium. And by doing this, we relax the central nervous system. It also flows around the hypothalamus and the pituitary glands, allowing more circulation to those areas to allow them to function better. Soft tissue therapy alone has been proven to reduce hot flashes because it eases tension, reduce any kind of headaches associated with these symptoms. It also improves levels of anxiety, so it reduces anxiety and stress, right? So as far as the area of inflammation in the joints, if we have this as one of the symptoms of low estrogen, well, osteopathic therapy can definitely help with that. Reduce inflammation, bring circulation to the area, increase range of motion, create balanced ligaments, reduce any kind of muscle tension that might be happening around the joints. So those are just a few ways that we can.
I fabulous. I mean, I'm still trying to just take this in and process it all because
yeah.
I wish I'd had an osteopath through menopause because that would have been so helpful. But there's hope for you ladies out there, right? Who are just entering. So just everywhere.
Yeah.
And is what I'm coming to, just on, you know, helping your body manage.
Yes.
And, you know, estrogen is going to fluctuate. It's going to happen. There's nothing, you know, you can't stop that, but you can do things to help the body optimally.
Exactly. And another hormone that is key in a lot of the symptoms that women experience during these times is cortisol. So cortisol is, it acts as on your metabolism and as well as on your stress. So cortisol levels often increase during this time, which creates more stress in the body. So, you know, symptoms of this can be fatigue, headaches, muscle weakness. We talk about weight gain during this time, right? So especially in the abdominal area and around our visceral organ. So with this, it's very similar, like what I'm going to say, but basically we act on the central nervous system to reduce anxiety. We can do visceral work, which is relaxing areas around your internal organs so that you have better digestion. And we want to promote the rest and digest system, the parasympathetic system, so that we are more relaxed and able to deal with these hormone fluctuations.
Nice. So much hope.
Yes.
so much hope, because, you know, the transitions through the midlife years and beyond get a bad rap. They really do. You know, we're in a midlife crisis, and the whole thing is crisis. And whereas I look at it as a cocoon and an emerging butterfly, an awakening is how I look at midlife and beyond, right? Stepping into our wise women. But again, being offered another opportunity or therapy that can help manage the symptoms and get you a better night's sleep. And, you know, so you don't have to just throw up the white towel and say, well, this is it, it's over, I'm in menopause and it's all done. And, you know, so that is just amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So much sharing there, and so much knowledge. And again, still trying to get it all into my head here. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I guess just to kind of add to what you're saying, this time can be looked at as a beautiful change, where even though we have some negative and some positive symptoms, you know, our bodies this is natural, and we should embrace it. And having, you know, support through either, you know, holistic practices, having you know, female groups supporting is all like very beneficial and empowering. So, you know, your body it's naturally gonna self-regulate and heal, and knowing that this is temporary, like all stages are temporary, and being able to better manage during that time. Right. So
absolutely giving yourself as much help as you can, right? Holding your own hand through it. And, you know, I see a lot of almost the feeling of like going to war with the body, right? And, you know, but it isn't that time at all. And there's lots. I like to think of it as a recipe, right? We all create our own recipe, and our team. Who's part of our team through this? And definitely osteopathy is a big player there. And I myself even had no idea how much of a player it was. And so thank you for that education piece, because, you know, it's really great for women to be informed.
I agree.
Right? What's out there? When we're informed, we're empowered.
Yes.
Choices for ourselves that, you know, help us manage, right? Instead of just going to war with our body, and it's a battle, and it's not meant to be that way at all. It's truly an awakening.
Yes, self-love.
Exactly. And, you know, when we are loving ourselves like that, we are treating ourselves with the love and respect that we deserve.
Absolutely.
Right? So, okay, not everybody lives near you, unfortunately. Me being one, but I will be in your office when I come down to visit my sister and my mother.
Perfect. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that, Sherry.
Yeah, me too. So where would we find an osteopath based on where we are?
Yeah, so Google is obviously a great source. You can always find osteopaths in your area and kind of look at their reviews. And, you know, part of this process is also finding a practitioner that you feel comfortable with.
Mhm.
So, you might have to go through a couple and see who you resonate with the most. And, I say my clients pick me, like
That's right.
it's not the
Yeah.
other way around.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple of sites that have like some directories. I think I sent you the links.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Below that you might
we'll
be,
put them in. Yeah.
yeah, that you might be, that's just for Ontario, unfortunately, but
Okay.
you might be able to find an osteopath through those as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
And they're North American, right? There's osteopaths everywhere.
oh yeah, I think actually they're starting to build more awareness about the
Mhm.
practice, because really for a long time, many people don't know what it is still, you know.
That is exactly why you're here.
Yeah. So I'm happy that there seems to be more people getting into the field and recognizing the benefits of the practice, and many people are becoming more aware. So yeah, so there are osteopaths now popping up all over the place, which is very exciting.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Awesome. Chantal, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us and to educate us on osteopathy and how it can just be so beneficial for the midlife years and beyond, that
Absolutely.
perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, right? And really, I hope, that you can find a practitioner that can help you through this and be part of your team, that you're using through this transition in your life. And I think it's just so exciting. It's hopeful, it's empowering. And I want to thank you so much for joining.
Oh, very welcome. And thank you for having me on.
Well, everybody, this has been another great Wellness Wednesday, and I want to thank you so much for joining us. And this will be in the guide in the group, and so enjoy. Make sure you hit the replay, and there's so much information there. Thank you so much.
Thanks.